Welcome back. Today we dive into the powerful and unforgettable story of USS Midway, CV-41, an aircraft carrier that became a living symbol of American naval strength, technological evolution, and human endurance across half a century of global conflict. The story of USS Midway is not just about steel, aircraft, and oceans, but about the people who served aboard her and the world events that shaped her destiny. USS Midway was commissioned on September 10, 1945, just days after the end of World War II. Although she was built too late to see combat in that war, her design was deeply influenced by the brutal lessons learned from it. She was the lead ship of her class and, at the time, the largest aircraft carrier in the world. Weighing over 45,000 tons and stretching more than 970 feet in length, Midway represented a new generation of naval warfare. Unlike earlier carriers, she featured an armored flight deck, a bold decision meant to increase survivability after carriers had suffered devastating losses during World War II. From the very beginning, USS Midway was a floating experiment in innovation. Her armored deck made her heavier than previous carriers, which caused challenges with stability and speed, but it also made her incredibly tough. This toughness would define her long career. During her early years, Midway served mainly as a symbol of American power during a rapidly changing post-war world. The Cold War was beginning, and the oceans were no longer just battlefields, but stages for political messaging and deterrence. In the late 1940s and early 1950s, USS Midway underwent multiple modifications to adapt to jet aircraft, which were rapidly replacing propeller-driven planes. This transition was one of the most dramatic shifts in naval aviation history. Jets were heavier, faster, and more demanding, requiring stronger decks, longer runways, and new launch systems. Midway was among the first carriers to prove that jets could successfully operate at sea. These upgrades ensured that she remained relevant as technology advanced. When the Korean War erupted in 1950, USS Midway was called into action. Operating in the harsh conditions of the Sea of Japan, she launched airstrikes against North Korean targets, providing close air support for United Nations forces and attacking enemy supply lines. The war tested both the ship and her crew. Freezing weather, constant flight operations, and the ever-present threat of enemy fire created an intense environment. Midway's air wing flew thousands of sorties, playing a crucial role in the conflict and demonstrating the strategic value of aircraft carriers in modern warfare. After Korea, USS Midway continued to serve as a key asset in the U.S. Navy's global presence. She participated in numerous training exercises and deployments, often operating near sensitive regions as a reminder of American military strength. During this period, she underwent major modernization, including the addition of an angled flight deck. This innovation revolutionized carrier operations by allowing aircraft to land and take off simultaneously, dramatically increasing efficiency and safety. The angled deck became a standard feature on carriers worldwide, and Midway once again proved herself as a pioneer. The 1960s brought one of the most challenging chapters in USS Midway's history, the Vietnam War. For years, she operated in the Gulf of Tonkin, launching relentless air missions against North Vietnamese targets. Day and night, her flight deck was alive with activity. Pilots, deck crews, and maintenance teams worked under extreme pressure, knowing that each mission carried life or death stakes. Many aviators flew from Midway into intense anti-aircraft fire and surface-to-air missile zones. Some never returned. One of the most famous moments in Midway's Vietnam service occurred in April 1975, during the fall of Saigon. As South Vietnam collapsed, thousands of refugees attempted to escape. In a dramatic and emotional episode, a South Vietnamese pilot flew a small civilian aircraft overloaded with his family toward USS Midway. With no place to land and no radio contact, he dropped a note onto the deck asking for help. In an extraordinary decision, Midway's commanding officer ordered several helicopters pushed overboard to clear space. The pilot landed safely, saving his family. This moment became a powerful symbol of compassion and quick decision-making amid chaos. USS Midway continued to evolve through the 1970s and 1980s. She received further upgrades to support modern aircraft such as the F-4 Phantom and later the F/A-18 Hornet. Despite being older than many other carriers in the fleet, Midway remained operationally effective. Her ability to adapt was a testament to solid design, continuous modernization, and the dedication of her crews. During the Cold War's final decades, USS Midway played a significant role in maintaining U.S. presence in the Pacific. She was forward deployed to Japan, becoming the only U.S. aircraft carrier permanently based outside the United States. This made her a familiar sight in Yokosuka and a key player in regional stability. Her presence reassured allies and sent a clear message to potential adversaries during times of tension. In 1991, USS Midway took part in Operation Desert Storm, her final combat deployment. Even after decades of service, she launched combat missions against Iraqi targets, contributing to the coalition's overwhelming air power. This marked the end of an era. Few warships in history had served so long or participated in so many major conflicts. After returning from the Persian Gulf, USS Midway was decommissioned in April 1992. For many sailors, this was an emotional moment. The ship had been more than a workplace, it was a home, a community, and a witness to history. Thousands of men and women had lived, worked, and sometimes lost friends aboard her decks. Rather than being scrapped, USS Midway was given a second life. In 2004, she opened as the USS Midway Museum in San Diego, California. Today, visitors can walk her flight deck, explore her hangar bays, and step into the cramped quarters where sailors once slept. The museum preserves not only the ship herself but also the stories of those who served aboard her. USS Midway's legacy is immense. She bridged the gap between World War II-era carriers and the nuclear-powered supercarriers of today. She witnessed the rise of jet aviation, the tension of the Cold War, the brutality of Korea and Vietnam, and the technological leaps that transformed naval warfare. More importantly, she carried generations of sailors who answered their nation's call, often under extreme conditions. The story of USS Midway is a reminder that history is not only written in books but also forged in steel and shaped by human courage. Her decks felt the footsteps of thousands, her skies roared with aircraft launching into danger, and her hull cut through oceans during some of the most critical moments of the 20th century. Even now, resting peacefully as a museum, USS Midway continues to teach, inspire, and honor the legacy of those who served at sea. This is not just the story of a ship, but the story of endurance, innovation, sacrifice, and service. USS Midway, CV-41, remains forever anchored in history as one of the greatest aircraft carriers ever to sail the world's oceans.